The Blast Bounty event is live. Navi fought to Astralis, and Dunk is proven to be mortal. Welcome to Queued Up, where the lobby is open, the mics are hot, and nobody is dodging. With me here today, Patrick, Davis, Dylan, and I'm CJ. Thanks for joining us here today on Queued Up. Guys, how we doing?
Lovely.
It's a great morning.
Yeah, I was on a 7 Counter-Strike loss streak. We've defeated that over the weekend, so, you know.
You were on a 7 loss streak? I'm
Terrible.
so sorry.
Terrible. Because I didn't have you guys.
Hey, the streak is over. That's all that matters, though.
That's right.
At least I'm ranked. That's all that matters.
I mean, honestly, I feel like I've lost too because I haven't been playing at all. So, well, let's jump into it. Today we've got the Blast Bounty event, obviously, going on. You get to pick who you want to play if you're a lower seed. And one of the matches we saw was Legacy versus Vitality. And I do love watching the Bees play. I'm a big Vitality fan. I like them a lot. But it is interesting when they do go up against a little bit of a kind of this, I don't even know what you would describe Legacy as, like this sneaky team that can just beat anybody at any point of the time, any day of the week. But ultimately, they were close to Mirage. But what do you guys think of this match?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's fascinating because I don't know if Legacy can almost beat anyone, but they can definitely almost beat Vitality, which it's weird because, I mean, they obviously ended the streak and then they made the first map insanely close.
Yeah.
Pushing it to overtime. They shouldn't have been able to do it, but they did. And in the end, the greater team obviously prevailed. But if you're a Vitality fan, I think for most fans, most of this online stuff made it not optimistic for the big squads. So at times, Vitality looked shaky, but so did a lot of other teams.
Yeah.
Just the traditional Zywoo beat up on the kind of weaker teams. You saw him come out and really dominate this match. I think he was just too much to really handle for Legacy. Obviously, they did beat them in Austin pretty handily. Like, Legacy kind of whooped them. But I think this time, just knowing that happened and they weren't going to let that happen again, and Zywoo was going to make sure that they didn't lose to this underdog again. So just kind of dominant.
Yeah, the Mirage was close, right? The second map, which was, what is that here? Dust 2, not as close. But Mirage was close, and obviously they were able to pull it out. And I mean, it's interesting watching Dust 2 just as it unfolds, where it feels so CT-sided for me when I watch it. It's just like, it feels Pat doesn't necessarily agree as he looks at me and says, what do you mean by that, CJ? But I feel like it's a little CT-sided, but I mean, Vitality showed up and they took this one, so.
Sure.
What do you think, Matt?
I think this just reminds me of Call of Duty a little bit. I'm not a fan of anything online, so these results are just kind of, I mean, they pretty much turn out, at least when we were at the first stage. I mean, all the higher teams won, but as Dylan said, some of them did drop a map or whatever, but it's like anything online I don't take too seriously. Legacy did a good job, sure, but I mean, Zywoo just stomped all over in that game. Same with Rops. I mean,
hey, maybe Legacy could have done it on LAN. I mean, they did before on LAN, so maybe
they did so in the best of 1. Congratulations to them. They have yet to win in the best of 3.
On Inferno too, the best map. I mean, I think Vitality's best map.
Well, at that point, it was their best map. During that streak, I mean, they were really, like, Inferno, they were unbeatable on.
So good. Okay.
But one thing I did think was weird, I don't think it's really necessarily true for like Dust 2 in general. I think it's actually true for all maps. But one thing I saw from this event was a lot of teams, when they got to CT side, kind of crumbled. But Vitality actually, this map, they just completely started dominating on CT.
Yeah.
Which I'll talk about that later for some other.
They love CT.
Yeah.
Pick says they love the CT side. Yeah. Which is weird.
But it's odd.
Granted.
No AK. Still the AK.
They don't got Dunk on their team, so.
Sure.
Good point. Let's go to our next match, Liquid versus Furia. This is an interesting one. We've got Bad Fallen and we've got Twiz from Canada.
It's both bad.
All
bad.
Whoa, my boy
Fighting
Twiz.
words.
I kind of like Twiz.
No, I'm just saying both teams. Like,
yeah.
You have a TL team that looks awful right now, and then a Furia team that does not look much better.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean,
Furia was on the uptick so much, and then like out of nowhere, they've just started falling back down, which is weird. I think a lot of their success really relies on Molodoy, though. You look right here, he only had 3 op kills, and like that's kind of weird. I know one of the matches we talked about last week, he had like over 20 op kills in the match. So I think, and then they won this map, but like if you look at the series as a whole, he didn't really play that good. And I think if he's on fire, if he catches a spark, I think that really lifts their team, elevates them, and they can win. But I mean, Liquid just showed up and surprised me. Like you said, Liquid's been awful, but surprised me in this match.
I mean, it's surprising that they made it to the top 8 in general, right? Because they had that crazy overtime series versus Escalation, I believe is the name. Excite, whatever it is. Yeah. But I mean, that one, there were so many broken plays. Liquid was able to pull that match out already, though. But it's interesting that Liquid is the team that made it this far. I would not have picked them to be the number 8.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane that somebody gets the gift of playing them in the first round.
Yeah.
But the crazy bit to me is like when you look at Fury, it's like you win that first map, all you have to do is have 2 or 3 of your players perform, and then you have Fallen and Yuri in the last 2 matches go 7-16, and then in 56 total rounds they had 7 2-round kills, 7, and these are like 2 of your biggest players. You just can't do that over 2 maps. Like you have to start training multi kills together. You have to start actually playing as a team and getting actual kills. But
yeah, I mean, Fallen, you're up.
Yeah,
your best players supposedly, right? Not your best player, but you know what I mean.
One of the things that I noticed was like what I was just talking about on the CT side. They just collapsed when they got to CT on both maps 2 and 3. They only won 1 round on CT on both sides. The maps were actually really close at halftime of map 2 and 3, but then they just literally couldn't win a CT round to save their lives, and Liquid just kind of took over.
I mean, it literally felt like they were like Yekindar and K-Serato. Just clutch it if you can. If not, chalk it.
Yep.
That's terrible.
All right, let's go to our next match. Astralis versus Na'Vi. This was a little bit of an upset. Na'Vi's been on a little bit of an upswing here, but Astralis were able to show up and take this series away from them.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is one that I really wanted to highlight because, you know, Danish Counter-Strike was the premier entity of Counter-Strike, and they kind of came up with like, hey, this is how you run economies, this is how you save, this is how you do every part of that. After losing the first map, when you go into that second one, it is 6-6 at the half, and it is an extremely close game. And I pulled up a cool chart here on the second one to talk about the economy, specifically the way Astralis was able to do this. They had 2 rounds, other than the starting pistol rounds, where they did not have full buys. It is insane. They went in that first half, they won 6-6, and they full bought the whole time. They never lost a round or they never had a round where they had inferior equipment the entire game, period. And they did get anti-ecoed once, but it's like, this is like playing the macro of Counter-Strike. Because like if you have a gun and they have a gun every time, it's a fair fight. But if they have a gun and you don't have a gun, it's way, way, way harder to win. Astralis literally never had that happen this entire series, or this entire second game. And this was a game that was close. So 6-6 at the half, they brought it back second time, and like, that is just playing the little bit of Counter-Strike absolutely correct, and it wins you a series.
Yeah.
Mikaze pulled a stinker finally. He'd been playing so good since he got integrated into Na'Vi, and he finally had a stinker. Alexi B also, he had a really bad series.
The other thing about Mikaze, though, is the only person he could kill is Device, and he's the only one that could kill him. Yeah. Nobody else could, but he could kill no one else.
Device Masterclass, too. It was really cool to see him like really popping off. Like,
yep.
Yeah, it was like the series that Na'Vi didn't pull themselves together for was the one that Astralis was just able to capitalize. A lot of it is because of this economy, and I mean the big change being the more money on the CT side right now too, and I think that probably plays into them being able to master the economy on the back.
It's also how you roll pistol rounds into like later rounds as well, and knowing when to save, knowing when to buy into, and that's something that, again, if you had to bet on any team knowing that the best, it's probably Astralis, so it makes sense.
Whatever, man. As Astralis, good job. I mean, where have we seen this within the past? Device finished at the top.
Yeah,
bro is normally at the bottom, and I'm happy for it. I was a big Device fan back in the day. Like, he was one of like the greatest players at the time. And they went on that insane error, and now they're just a shell of their former selves. And they managed to beat Na'Vi, who some of us were crediting upward, but this to me just showed that Na'Vi is still the same old Na'Vi they've always been. Last year they were better. This season is specifically what I'm speaking to. Yeah. They've been this way the whole season. They have signs of promise, but as we saw, like 3 people on their team is just going insanely negative. Alexi B is he's been having a very rough season, and Astralis were able to capitalize on that. And I'm happy for them. I think they could beat other teams.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that's
Liquid.
I think both of these teams beat Furia and Liquid, so it is unfortunate that of that, like, kind of second-class team right now, they did have to play each other, because I think these are 2 of the better second-class teams. They're probably better than VP. They're probably better than TL. They're probably better than Furia. It's unfortunate they had to play each other.
Well, and I mean, when Mikaze and IM are the 2 that normally play so well for you and they don't do well in a series, like, you're not going to win. Like, it's interesting that Hooksy was also the worst player on Astralis on their side too, and maybe the comms are a little bit different. But you remember, this is the game that had that clip where Na'Vi, the comms were not good, right? They were like screaming at each other after the Mirage.
And I think since Hooksy's became the IGL of Astralis, I think they have actually improved like a good bit. I don't know if they're going to ever be at the point that they were dominating Counter-Strike, but I mean, they've shown improvements. And I mean, this game specifically, spoke a lot to me because the whole team played good. Like Hoochie, he wasn't playing great, but he's the IGL making calls. But everybody else on the team was actually playing really good. Na'Vi has looked good. I mean, the last event they made it to the playoffs and made a little bit of a run. So I mean, I think it's a positive for them.
You're on the Na'Vi upswing, yes, Dylan?
Yeah, totally.
So do you think that this is just a one-off for Na'Vi, or like, what is your interpretation?
I think that Astralis always has a little bit of magic in the hat. I mean, they'll make weird finals. They've made weird finals this year, and sure, it's not been super S-tier events, but like they've made good runs. But it's like, unfortunately, the top 3 teams in the world are so far away.
Yeah.
And it's like, do I think Na'Vi could get to a point where they're consistently competing with the Mongols? Absolutely. Do I think they can get to a point where they're consistently competing with Spirit, Mouse, and Vitality? Not without a crazy roster move.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I think just Na'Vi was on the honeymoon phase after integrating Makaze into the team, and they were playing really good at the LAN for his first event with the team. And like, you come to this event, and it's like you're playing Astralis, who, like we were saying, is one of the more experienced teams. They know how to play the macro of the game, and when you get behind that and you just don't have the econ advantage, it's really hard to win these rounds against experienced players like Device and Hooksy and all these guys. So, I mean, I think it's just time. Like, it was just the time for Navi's new group to kind of meet this beast and be like, okay, how do we work through this? And we saw them kind of crumble and their comms really struggle. And so I think it's just a test to try to build their roster.
I mean, you say that, but like Astralis has been on a downswing. I mean, Hooksy is the recent addition, and maybe he improves them, but he was also, like I said, the worst player on in this series. So it's like interesting that they were able to take this one, and maybe it's because of online, maybe it's all these other factors.
Yeah, I was gonna say to Pat's point earlier, it's like, to me, most of this is just Mickey Mouse nonsense, right? It's like, sure, at that 6-6 break, you go into a pistol round on like a degree of netcode or latency or some weird frame buffering nonsense. Like, that could be the difference in you losing a pistol, and that is the difference in you ever having a buy round.
I don't know. Let's go to the next one. VP versus FaZe. This was intriguing. Always rooting for FaZe on the side of this one, so it's like interesting. But I think the series was fun. One of the notable things from this was Elige had a couple moments where there was a joke of him wall hacking because he kind of took some shots through a wall that were a little odd. You might not see that.
That's pretty odd.
That was pretty odd.
I mean, he wasn't cheating, I don't think, but like it was pretty freaking odd.
That's weird. You know, he also had the best stats for his whole team.
And
America.
They're thinking about getting rid of him.
And they want to trade him. Yeah.
Great logic.
I think kind of since they've integrated Berkey back into the team, Elige has kind of been the only kind of bright star, in my opinion, on the team. And like you said, they're thinking about eliminating him. It's kind of weird.
It's wild. The map you win in this, it's you had to get Kerrigan to carry you from the trenches, and it's like if your win factor for FaZe is that Kerrigan has to carry you to victory, like, dude, it's not going to be a good time. And it's, again, I can't iterate. Brokey does not make this roster new. It does not feel new.
Right here, Prod.
And it's one of those of like, what are we doing, man?
I just want to talk about how bad they threw this map. They're up 8-4 at half. They actually win the pistol. Their only CT round that they won in the second half was the pistol. They're up 9-4, and then they lose 9 straight rounds on CT side right here, and they just lose the map. They just absolutely threw the crap out of this game.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And in my opinion, if you're losing 9 straight rounds, I think it's an IGL diff. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Kerrigan, he has great experience. He's been one of the great IGLs of all time, but like Electronic just out IGL'd him this game, and that's kind of sad.
Especially on Inferno.
Yep.
It is so hard to get in either of those sites. You really have to commit super hard, and if you lose 1 or 2 of the gunfights, you win a round easy on CT.
It is a hard rotate map, but it is also one of those, again, like, it's hard for me to feel really harsh about anything just because, again, it's like one weird netcode round can break your one buy round and you're checked. And it's like, on top of that, you have to deal with people's heads and character because, like, we all know this. Whenever you're playing and competing, it's like if one thing goes wrong, it's immediately the lag's fault. It's immediately the online's fault. It's immediately everything's fault except for your lack of rotation. So it's like, it's easy to get checked quick. And I hate because, like, I do think VP might be on a slight uptick because they do have new roster adjustments and they do look like they might be trending upward. But it's like, it's hard to be like, oh yeah, they might be top 10 now, but you put them on LAN and they just might get smoked this week. And it's like, okay, maybe they're not.
No, they will get smoked, unfortunately. I was a big VP fan for the what do we call those things? The tournaments that don't have any of the good teams.
The mid-major.
Yeah, the mid-majors, yeah. Like, I was rooting for them then, and they failed tremendously hard. They just double bounced themselves. It was terrible. But the fact that they're able to beat FaZe, to me, is just hilarious because FaZe is always kind of sitting around in this, like, 12. They give them higher seeds, but I put them down here at like 12, 13. And like Elige, he finally did what he was supposed to do. This is the reason why they brought him onto the FaZe squad, is for him to perform like this. And it's just sad that this is the one time he's been able to perform. And that's why there is these talks of him possibly going away and getting traded out. But it's like, if he could play like this all the time, and it's like, it's not like he played super spectacular. He just played decent and had some very good moments. But everybody else on the team, unfortunately, fall a little bit short. Kerrigan, like you said, had a great game, which is surprising. And yeah, like you said, like if Kerrigan's having to drop like 16, 17 kills, there's definitely a problem.
I think he played pretty spectacular. He's got the most kills in the whole lobby. He's got 102 ADR. Like, his whole team let him down. And honestly, he's been playing pretty good the last few matches they played. Like, he's been their best player for like the last 3-4 series they played.
I think the problem is this is like, it's a revolving door in the FaZe camp, but when you look currently at the current makeup of your Rain, your Frozen, and now Brokey, it's like you need those players to be able to have a winnable map. And it's like, if that person plays above average, you will win the map. And it's like, again, like when we look back at why they performed well at the major and actually made it into the playoff portion, it's like you had Simple, who even at not his best can still win you a map every now and again. And that's better than what you're getting out of Brokey, Frozen, and Rain right now. Like, they're not playing good enough to win you a map.
Bro, now had to throw Simple in there.
Well, no,
I'm
saying you could pick anybody. Like, you could pick Dexter is a better option than Brokey. Like, there's a lot of other players that can win you maps, and it's like it just feels like if Kerrigan is the guy, you're like, hey, I need one, get me one. It's like he's not gonna clutch up often.
It's just more than one player. Like, Simple didn't make a difference. Brokey's not gonna make a difference. Dexter's not gonna make a difference. That team, that whole team needs. Unfortunately, what seems like a whole shakeup,
and that's what's tough.
It's just not working.
And that's what's tough about the Elige piece too, because it's like at times Elige is like a stable rock of mediocrity, but so is Frozen, so is Rain. Now we got
they all have their times.
Now Kerrigan, I will give you at times Kerrigan is absolute dog water, and at times he carries a lobby, and it makes no sense. But at least sometimes he can win you a map.
I'm right there with you. I think they need to completely rebuild the team. I think it's time.
Oh my God.
I think it's time for Kerrigan.
I think it's just one bad series from Rain and Frozen, who are normally the two carrying that whole team.
One bad series?
Yeah, they normally look so much better. They just look awful.
Rain definitely normally.
Those two looked awful and that's the reason they lost. And I put it more on Frozen than I do Rain, but those are the two those two players are the reason that team wins or loses.
Yeah.
And they just had bad series.
I think one doesn't get them nowhere.
I think Frozen has been super off the last few events. Yeah. He's like he was brought on to kind of be like their superstar with Elige, and like he just kind of.
It is also like, and this isn't just to continue the Simple train, but it's like
it is.
No, when you talk about the major though, it's like who carried them to the major? You don't know the answer.
Frozen.
That's my point.
No, Frozen would be the one for sure.
At time the three mids were mid. Elige was mid, Frozen was mid, Rain was mid. Kerrigan actually probably won the more maps than Frozen. Because Kerrigan did play super well at times.
Yeah. I mean, at times.
But that's my point. It's those three are like, they're never consistently like top fragging. It's like, if it would have been 6 months run where Frozen is the 5th best player in Counter-Strike, it's like, yeah, keep the bro.
Actually, I would put it more on Elige because Elige was playing really, really bad in those moments too.
Could be.
I don't know. Okay, cool. Let's go to the next one. This one's interesting. Donk is not the Lord and Savior that people think he is. Sure. Because he had a bad series, and that's it. But this one was this G2 roster that's kind of reformed, coming against Spirit. And to Spirit's credit, Shuro and Zontix did kind of show up for it,
sure.
Even as Donk had a bad series.
Yep.
I think G2 should have won this thing 2-0. I mean, this map right here in particular, they lost 13-11. They were up at halftime 7-5. And the main thing is, like you were saying, Donk was playing so bad. He's double negative. If we go to the scoreboard of this match, he's double negative. You have to win the game when he's double negative. Like, you actually have to. But just G2 didn't really take advantage of their situation. Yeah, he did bounce back in the last two. But, like, the actual scoreboard for map 1, he was like 9-18, I think is what it was. But I think G2, though, with this new roster, give them some more time, they'll look better. I think they've looked improved. Like I said, they could have won this series 2-0, and they didn't take advantage of it. But I think they're getting better.
This is probably the only time I will say that a team underperformed due to being internet warriors, because it's like, Donk, you are the #1 bro, and face it, you play this more than anyone. You are the most prepared for the online environment. Like, it is very odd that he underperformed in that context. I mean, you can say it's online, but it's like, bro, you're the top-rated guy on Face It. Clearly, you're spending thousands of hours online. What are your excuses?
Bro got lucky. The online Warriors will defend it because it's online. So I slightly agree. Online is that, but I'm actually really excited for G2. I think they're one of the more with the changes they've had with bringing in some pies from Heretics. As it seems like a pretty good change. I was a big Snacks fan, at least from back in the day, and just carrying on that VP-ness going on. But I think it's the right move for him to get swapped out, and I think it's Hunter who's taking on the IGL row, and I'm pretty excited to see this G2 team going forward. I think they stand a chance to maybe occasionally break it into a little playoffs at the occasional time and actually be pretty decent. And we saw it a little bit here. Sure, it's online, and sure, it came at the fault of maybe Donk not playing his best, but maybe we can also just give that credit to G2.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, if Donk has a good series, G2 gets smoked.
Yeah,
Totally.
And I think that's the main point. Is G2 did a really good job of shutting him down and making sure that he didn't pop off, and so that was their best chance to win. But they couldn't quite pull it out. But they did a good job of shutting him down.
Yeah, it's also interesting too because G2, when we think about a year ago now, it's Navi and G2 are amongst probably your two best, and you have Spirit and Vitality not too distant far behind them. And it's man, G2 is in such a different place. It's also wild for a team that's brought players like Niko and Monacy and all these A-tier talents to be in a spot now where it's we're talking about, Heavy God and these other guys, and it's I don't think they're bad players, but it's just weird that we went from crazy A-listers to now this. Maybe they're going to build these kids into A-listers. Maybe that's what they're going to be, kind of renowned for in the end. But
I mean, they have cash, which is good. They got some cash.
Sorry, he was putting disrespect on Heavy God's name.
I like Heavy God.
I'm not going to sit here and stand for the Heavy God disrespect.
You could have put him with Niko and Monacy?
Dude, Nico's consistently dropping 0.69s now, buddy. Okay,
yeah. But what I'm saying, when he went,
I would put him on Nico's level.
When he went to G2, though, that wasn't the expectation.
Sure, maybe, but good. I think maybe G2 just doesn't need the supposed A-star. Wherever those A-stars went, they went to Falcons. What have the Falcons been doing? We haven't talked about them in forever.
G2.
Because they don't even make it anymore.
I don't think G2 thinks this is the best roster they can put together right now. I think this is an experimental phase for them. I think they're scouting and they're going to.
They need Simple.
No, they need Dexter. Why does nobody sign Dexter? It's insane.
He's literally just sitting there on the bench. His last event that he played
he literally won MVP. Yeah,
he popped off and he's just been sitting.
That's got to be the longest time between winning an MVP and playing
a match. Yeah, 100%.
We'll see if he ends up somewhere.
Hope so.
I hope so too. Let's go to the feed. Dylan, you're starting us off over here. We're going to talk through some of the things you got over here.
We're gonna start off with our most beloved topic. Basically, if you don't know, Call of Duty plays its matches online. That's why probably nobody cares about Call of Duty. Why on earth is Blast doing this? You got both Donk and Simple talking about the different events online. He's talking about, it's unusual to play online after LAN, thankful for his team, blah, blah, blah. You had Simple talking about the game freezing. I saw a lot of people in Blast complaining about this too, just Simple's the biggest name, so therefore I just put his tweet up here. But it's weird that you have a lot of these players. They're giving Blast a lot of flack for this because this event used to be in Copenhagen, used to be all in LAN in person. Now we've reverted to, I think Malta supposedly can only hold 8 people in its venue, or 8 teams in its venue. So therefore they have to weed that out online beforehand. Terrible format. This makes this look like Bush League. Either only invite 8 teams and do no online, or just don't do this format because it's awful.
Yeah, the online sphere, it's interesting because there's so many variables that come when you're online. And I don't know if it's one of the, I hate to point the finger at the players in some ways, but sometimes I do doubt whether the players can put the technology together to give themselves the most chance of success. Do they have good internet where they are? Have they bought the right PC? Is it spec to what they want it to be? Or did they just get the fastest internet they thought they could get, go buy a random PC and just kind of set it up? And I know they're professional players, but what's the issue going on here? Sure. Obviously, there's servers and other things going on where the Mongols are playing from wherever. Well, I know that they have to be within a region.
Sure.
But there's interesting variables where it's I don't really know if it is, hey, the environment or if it's the individual players, because some of them seem to do fine in it. And some of them seem to suck on it. So.
I think they're just coping, like you just said.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're good enough, you're good enough, and they scrim online constantly all the time. They play online constantly all the time. They just happen to lose, and now they're gonna complain about it.
To me, it just devalues the thing. It feels like a scrim, right? If every major organization was set up like Mal's, because dude, their facility is insane. They had fans. They made it like a LAN for their players, and it's those moments are really cool. But the other 31 teams did not have that set up.
Yeah.
So it's like
One other thing sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but one other thing I wanted to say too is like we also had a conversation a few weeks ago about the technology at events not being good. So I would guarantee their computers at home are probably better
might
than
be
the
better,
events
yeah.
that they're
Maybe.
using.
Yeah.
The PCs that they're using at the events.
to me, it's less about like I mean, I think there's online issues, but it's more about like this just makes it look Bush League. Now, if everybody's playing out of like a Mal's headquarters, it's like okay, cool. You're playing from your home location, your facilities, like that's cool. But like seeing dudes with laundry in the back and like dudes ripping vapes, it's just like really unprofessional. Like
Yeah, wasn't there
What,
a
the
gun
whole-
on one of them?
maybe
I don't know. I didn't see
Somebody
that.
had a gun in the background. Leash had nothing. Or it's like there's just
Blank
white
walls,
walls.
yeah.
And so you're like,
it
is-
just takes
that
the
is odd.
conversation away from the match.
I did think it looks weird sitting in your own room having the camera like just showing out. It looks weird.
yeah.
But I think that it is a lot of cope saying that like we lost because it's online. Like no, you didn't.
No, you just suck.
The
You
problem
play online
is,
constantly.
They just let
is
him
we
know.
have orgs and spend all these monies on these players, but they can't even get them a webcam that can at least record at a solid frame rate, and not look like it's 480p.
Yeah,
stuttering.
The angles were weird. There were
Not
some
only the
weird
angles,
angles.
but some of them for the interviews were like, "Yo, this man's using like a studio camera." Then the other one's like, "Yo, this dude's using an iPhone 4."
Yeah, like where's the do they not have anybody in their org that cares any bit about any of this
Quality
from a viewership perspective, production wise? Like, hey man, your camera's looking a little low down here. We're just getting side shots the whole time.
Not only that, but like,
Like,
I mean, minus mouse because I think their setup's super sick. But like, dude, if I'm like VP or anybody else, it's like I'm watermarking. I've got banners in the background. Like, you are knowing this is a VP player. Like the players are playing in like, it doesn't seem like this is like a jersey outfit professional thing. It's like Elige looks like he's in an apartment he's been in for 3 days.
I thought it was funny too seeing their reactions. I thought they reacted a lot different being in their own comfortable room than they did like on LAN. Like you saw multiple players just spazzing out, slamming the desk, stuff like that. I thought that was hilarious.
yeah, Zywoo was getting a little comfortable with his hands that we seen. That was pretty interesting. Whatever you need to do to drop 25, buddy.
Hey,
Davis, what's your feed?
So for my first one, we're going to talk about, I think it was 2018 is the race that we're talking about, but basically when Niko was comparing Donk and Zywoo to Device and Simple with 2018, how Device pretty much won everything, every event that year, but Simple was still the MVP because of the impact that he made. And I think we're seeing it. We talked about this last week, so I wanted to show the tweet. I thought it was funny that Niko had commented kind of the same thing as us, saying that it might be the same thing this year where, Zywoo has won everything, but Donk has had more impact. So I just wanted to.
it is ironic that we have this conversation and he's talking about this after Zywoo has probably his worst eliminating series, and then Donk has his worst series as well, like in almost back-to-backs.
Back. Yep.
But I mean, I obviously said this last week, but the first 6 months of the year, to me, it's very clear who has the most value in the entire Counter-Strike sphere. And then there's a player who's the best player on the best team. And it's like, cool. What's your argument? Do you say best player on best team, or do you say literal most valuable player? I'm good with either, but just call the award whatever it is.
It's a team game too. I mean, we always come back to this, but it's crazy because it's like who's setting up who and why they're getting set up and how they get the kill, and it's just I don't know. I think both are. I come back to this argument all the time where it's like they're two different players. I was a very different player than Donk, and Device and Simple were actually both oppers, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But two different players.
It's also weird too because Zywoo is such an odd character because like he does AK a lot. He does use ARs a lot. Whereas like Donk, I mean, he'll pick up an op if he has to, and he'll do some one-off stuff. But dude, he's an AK
He's an
goblin.
AK.
Yeah, we want the AK for sure.
Call those one tricks.
Sure. Which one? Device, Simple, and Donk.
All of them.
Speaking of one tricks, I got a clip here from Mr. Tim the Tap Man, who has 0 tricks in his bag, just so we're clear. But Tim the Tap Man is hiding in a corner. He baits his teammate.
Yeah, this is actually running clip, by the way, just so you know. Like, this isn't frozen. It actually looks like Davis last week.
True that.
And he loses a gunfight. Interesting plays from Tim the Tap Man. One of the things that we know about Counter-Strike, there's a little bit of a skill gap that goes with it.
I do think it's nice, though, to see the variance, right? Like, because, like, when you start seeing, obviously, COD pros convert over, if you're a professional at anything, I think it's very easy for you to probably port to another thing.
Yeah.
Just because you know what it takes to practice and everything. Tim is very clearly not a professional. He's a professional streamer, but he is not a professional, like, player. And so it's like very obvious when you see some of these guys convert over to hard games. It's like, yeah, the game is hard.
Yeah, he's just a dad now. Tim used to play Counter-Strike all the time. That's whenever I was like first getting into Tim the Tap Man, back when he had the long hair looking like a surfer bro. He played Counter-Strike religiously, or CS:GO, whatever we want to call it back then.
But he was
and he
never
was
that
pretty
good.
he was pretty decent.
He was decent.
He was decent. He got to, I don't remember exactly what the
He was
highest
like
rank he
LEM.
achieved.
He was like LEM.
But he achieved a decent rank. He was not bad. And now, yes, he's going down this dad arc and he plays many different games, and so he is not as good anymore. And that's just, that happens to everybody.
Exactly. That would be my
yeah.
point, is like everyone has had this moment where it's like he's right there and all you have to do is click it and you miss completely.
Yeah, I was going to say, not to like ego Tim or anything, but I think we have all been higher ranked than him, and we have all made that same mistake still.
Yeah.
Like, I think Davis did this like 3 days
yeah, I
ago.
literally did that exact thing on Mirage like last week.
It's the
And
worst.
we were all playing too.
It's the worst. I hate it when that happens. I don't know.
He just needs better skins. He should just open a couple more cases.
He got that case hardened though. Ooh.
Yeah, congratulations. What a waste of money.
Go ahead, Pat. What's your feed? Hopefully it's
I'm
anti-gambling.
so distraught I don't even remember now. It's about our boy Niko again, dude, saying that he will become an IGL in the future. Now, I foresee the future being very close after the latest performance, but to me, this is just like, I don't know if he means it this way, but like Niko, unfortunately, has been having a bunch of bad performances. Recently, he's not been performing up to the status that I'm sure he wants himself and his team. And then to go and make comments like this, and we kind of always view IGLs as the kind of washed out players that aren't as good as they used to be, but their knowledge is what's power. And it's kind of sad to see him to say that in just this context I'm putting it in, because it just seems like, yeah, man, I'm not as good as I once was, but I got a brain and I played for 30 years, so I can maybe help foster in a win that way.
It's a weird vibe because it's like when I think of the other players that have transitioned to IGLs, in the nicest way, Kerrigan's the only other one that wasn't like a stud, because Kerrigan was always good, but he was like Apex was absolutely elite. And then it's like he slowed down, but it's like, dude, I think Apex outguns Niko now. And it's like he is the IGL of that team. And it's like it's weird to be like you said of, hey, I'm going to take the retirement path over here. I'm going to keep getting paid, and like I might stay on Falcons, I might not, but like, I'll just chill.
See, that's why I think it's weird. I think he's going to stay on Falcons, but I think it puts a lot of pressure on Kickson, me personally. They haven't really been performing well at all recently, and so I think that him coming out and saying that he's going to turn into an IGL, whatever, in the future, that means soon, in my opinion. So I just think it puts a lot of pressure on Kickson. I think it's really weird vibes that have been planted into the team.
It's also, don't you think it's like, hey, by the way, just so you know, we need another star. It's actually not me, but I'm going to get rid of you, and we're going to go.
And I'm going to move to IGL. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it feels like to me. Because it's like, Falcons is the guy that they poured everything into, or Niko is the guy that they poured everything into before Modesty came. And it's like, Kickson, obviously, he was a great player with Heroic, him and Tessis, but like, they're the people that you look at, that they're the next off the chopping block, and the people that are on the hot seat. So, that's just what it says to me. It's like, yeah, I'll be the IGL here in a couple months, and Kickson will probably be gone. We'll get another superstar. I think that's the kind of vibe that I get from this whole debacle.
It's very, I think it's odd too, in the fact that it's not really a desirable position in some ways. Like, you normally are like trying to focus on such a micro of what your team is doing and not necessarily your individual gunfights, and so it puts you in a really odd spot a lot. And I don't think Niko is the type of player that wants to play that way. Like,
I agree and disagree, because like it's very weird, because we had like the parallels of Niko and Simple, and then Zywoo along that, and it's like their personalities were so different. You had like Simple as like the Chaos Harbinger party boy. You had Niko as like actually like the PR darling. Like, he always interacts with people. He's still like responding to dudes on Twitter, like in a very polite, educated way. He's always talking to the media. He's like really involved, but he just never won. And then you had Zywoo, who says nothing and then still wins. So it's like kind of weird. It's like, I think it will be good, because like we might get more insight into the IGL role. We might get more content. We might see more. And it's like, it's probably good from a media and marketing perspective. Yeah. It also makes a ton of sense why Falcons is like, you're the most vocal and positively marketable guy. We want you on our org, and we're going to keep you for a while. Because like, I like Kerrigan. Kerrigan's a great dude, but he's been a FaZe guy for what feels like a decade now. And it's like, he's a good player, and he has funny moments like the wee-woo at the major and stuff like that, but it's like, what else does he provide? Whereas Niko actually provides a lot, even if it's not clicking heads right now.
I don't know. I agree. Dylan, what's your feed?
So this next one is it's back to the online Warriors, but in a more of a positive way. It's actually, I believe, a Niko statement. He was talking about how Kyosuke and Monesi both were like grinding out trying to catch Dunk and face it.
Oh, funny.
And like it was almost in like a negative way of like these kids just playing online all the time. And it's like, yeah, dude, that's why they're the best in the world. Like they're always playing. They are always practicing. It's like it feels so clear that like, and I don't know if it's just players from the CIS region or what it is, but it's like, dude, these guys are just grinders. And it's as that batch of players continues to elevate, like it feels like both online and offline, like we are just entering the era of grinders. And I'm curious if the old gen of the Vitalities and those players that don't seem like they play as much, they have kids, they have lives, they have families, all this other stuff, like are the 18-year-olds that play 12 hours a day just going to take over?
I think it's weird because, like, yeah, they can take over on Face It, but I mean, if you, like, obviously Donk and them won the last event, but I mean, Falcons has been struggling. They should probably get off Face It, maybe do some more scrims, maybe do some more strategy, like, stuff as a team. Because, like, one person that I think of, I remember back at the major, it was the LAN Vision team. 2 of the people on their team were, like, level 4 on Face It. And that's, like, terrible. Like, literally, we could probably be level 4 on Face It, but it shows that, like, it doesn't really matter what your Face It level is at this time. Like, if you can get on a solid team and you guys can work a good plan together, that's what matters at the end of the day. Face It is just a place to elevate yourself and get yourself noticed as a star. And so, like I said, I think Monesi and Kyosuke need to start grinding with the team instead of grinding on their own.
Maybe their team's not grinding, and that's what they're stuck doing.
Well, it's also
true.
I think it's a pride thing too, because like everyone wants to be the number 1 on the leaderboard in all the games, right? And Call of Duty had a leaderboard; everybody wanted to be top on there. Normally a hacker, but also exists. I mean, Face It also has that issue too, where it's normally some kind of hacker that's up there. But right now it's Donk, and so if I'm Monesi and I just am. What else do I do other than play Counter-Strike? That is the hobby. And so it's like, I'm going to go and try and fight for that number 1 spot to at least take it so that I can say I did it more than anything else. That's my view on it.
Yeah, my view is that the young guns don't know Jack Diddley.
Nothing.
All right, they're just young.
Kids.
We've all been there. Some of us are still there. But, you know, you just like to play all the time. That's just, if that's what you enjoy doing, that's what you did. Whether it wasn't even my career, but it was all I did. So I understand it. But, yeah, it doesn't prove anything. It being number 1 on Face It, I mean, it does prove something. Don't get me wrong. You're a star player. But when it comes to the 5v5 actual part of the game and all the team play comes into it, it doesn't matter how many random kids online you have dominated. Because most of those kids, while they are good, there's a reason why they're not on any professional teams or not, is because they're good, but they don't have what else you need to be a star. And that's the main stuff. So, yeah, Niko's probably just being a little bit of an old head here, but
for sure. And I don't disagree. And it's with specifically Counter-Strike, Face It is such an enticing thing to like where you can effectively scrim with your 2, 3, 4 stack as opposed to like full-on team v team scrims. But like, I don't disagree with your point. Like when I think about the leaderboards back in the day, we used to screenshot the leaderboards in COD.
Yeah.
Closer to the end of the year because you've grinded for 10 months and you've sifted a lot of the bad stuff out. But when I think about the leaderboard, it's like I was up there. I was never probably a top 15, top 20 COD pro. Nadeshot was up there. Then it's like Ollie A, T Martin, Drifter, and these guys. And it's like these are content creators. Like it's a couple people, but you'd spend time in Money 8. So it's like you're trying to scrim. And it's like that's what I hope the others doing. And I would assume Apex and those type of guys are like, they get home for scrims and they go spend time with their family and they do what they need to do and they don't care about Face It.
What is up with you disrespecting? Hang on 1 second. Disrespecting people's names today. We're throwing Nadeshot down now. That's what we're doing.
When do you think he was a top 10 pro?
I'm not going to sit here and argue semantics about like what position he was, but like we're not even going to talk about this because it's Call of Duty. It's not Counter-Strike. I'm just simply saying put some respect on some people's name. Nadeshot was a crucial part to what we got today.
I agree.
Okay, moving on. All right.
Content king.
You can speak now.
Davis.
I think my second feed is talking about, it's actually nothing to do with Simple himself. It's just his catastrophic fall-off needs to be studied because look at this guy that he's playing with. This looks like a clip from us right here. Like, you got to be kidding me. Come on, hold on. Right here it is when he gets in the corner.
Oh, yeah. That happened
This is
to me the other day.
that's who Simple's playing with?
That's a Face It 4 right there.
And he's still bottom frag.
I just think it's sad to see.
Look at Simple's room. Let's go. It is so dark. You can see the white hat on his head.
Dude, I watched the first series they played and like, dude, At first, I thought the top like 50 teams in Counter-Strike were the most untouchable goblins you've ever seen in your life. And watching that, I'm like, yo, dude, this is achievable. Like, I could be one of these guys.
I'm telling you, watching that game, it's so much different than watching like Tier 1 Counter-Strike. Watching the players play, it's just actually insane how much different.
And the sad part is Simple's also missing the smokes with them.
Yeah.
And the shots with them, so.
Yeah, I think that it's one of the, that fall off is so crazy. Even when we talk about our tier 3 teams, I mean our top 3 teams, not tier 3 teams, and then the fall off from there, and then the fall off. It happens so fast, and we get bad so fast within that scheme of things.
Especially you play to the standards of those around you for the most part. And I think we're clearly seeing that with Simple, because I do think that again, you put him on any team that's probably 7th to 25th, and he's probably a net improvement. But now he's on a team that's, I don't know, 125th, and it's like, dude, can't even carry that. It's rough.
I think it's kind of like
it's like Tim the Tap Man missing the pistol shots. You know, what's the deal?
I think it's like we were saying earlier. It's just like the grinder effect. Like when you're out of the game for that long, like players are getting better. They're playing every single day, hours every single day, and you're falling off because you're not keeping up at the same level as them. And so,
I think what's more impressive to me on that is when people can consistently hit smokes. When people consistently hit mollies and like learning those and being able to replicate it, especially in crunch time when you have to have it.
It's also tough too, because you would assume for 10 years of his life, it's like if he knows he's playing these 5 teams this weekend, these are the tendency of these 5 players. Whereas if you're playing a bunch of online warriors, they're going to do weird stuff.
Yeah,
and you're not going to be prepared for it. And it's like if they are playing irregular, it would not be surprising to be caught off guard.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying that you take Zywoo, you put him on this team that he doesn't rag out, but it's like Simple is currently not in that form.
Yeah.
And the play is way different. That's the main thing. You have a read on tier 1 play the same way as like if you take a tier 1 player and put him in tier 3, it's like he's got to figure out what the heck are these guys doing. This is so much different than what I'm used to.
Yeah. We'll see. For me, we're gonna look at Twiz and Elige. Do we think a swap does anything for either of these rosters? Pat, what do you think?
I think this doesn't make FaZe any better. Like we were just talking about earlier, like FaZe needs more than just one player, and switching Elige for Twiz, to me, you're just, in theory, you're subbing out, in my opinion, for worse. I think Elige is supposed to be a better player, and on stats proven has been in the past, but I think this is just a move, if it does come true, is just kind of like, it solves literally nothing. I don't see FaZe moving up or down a seed anywhere. I see them just staying in the same exact spot. And Liquid, well, if Elige plays like he's supposed to, slight bump.
It's also tough, too, because these are 2 American orgs, and at least we're trading an American player amongst the American orgs. But it's like, bro, we got to have one of these teams be relevant, and I don't think this helps either of them be relevant.
Yeah. I think it's a lateral move. It would literally stay the exact same. The Europeans are just trying to scapegoat Elige because he's American and plays Counter-Strike.
Sure.
There you go. I agree. Yeah, I don't think there's a huge upgrade on either of these things.
It's also ironic that I feel like every player that's about to get canned or publicly getting canned immediately performs well. So it's like we should just always threaten players, is what I've learned from this.
Sounds like a Dylan.
The whole FaZe roster, y'all are getting canned.
Yeah.
Next event.
They might win. It'd be wild. If they did, new president.
Yep.
Pat, go ahead.
So the second, what is this feed? My second feed. Yes, we're going a little bit of football reference here. We all love football here, okay? Some call this the top right Messi effect here, okay? He's always performing in the top right, and basically Donk is he's like the Messi of Counter-Strike. He's always in the top right. He's always, well, besides this last online performance, let's just get that out of the way. He is always dominating. He is always carrying the team. His ratings are always off the chart. Contender for highest ratings in pretty much a lot of the events. I mean, he almost beat Simple's record at IEM, just missed it by 0.1. He is always that guy, except for online. And it's funny to see the GOATs of everything always stay way above the rest and everything. I already know what's coming. I said that. He's really good. He's a great player, and he has those stat lines. And
you would say currently he's probably performing like
he's not allowed. Donk is not allowed to be the GOAT yet because he has not played for long enough.
I don't know. I'm saying, but
I'm just getting that out of the way because I know it may not be in this show, but outside of this room, that statement I just made is going to haunt me for a while.
What you're currently saying though is he's playing like the best player in the world because he's in the top right where nobody else is, right?
He is
like a most valuable type of player.
He's playing like a guy who just he's young and fresh and he's dominating, and we'll hope that he can keep that up.
Why did you bring this up?
And it's almost like
I'm supporting it. He is dominating. I don't
It's
know
like
what
he
he's saying.
provides more value. It's crazy than anybody else of those dots that are like away from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I still hate him.
Okay.
You should be getting on to him. He's over here saying he hates
He's
Dong.
undeniable.
I don't hate Dong. Dong is a fantastic player.
He's undeniable still.
Not against
Top
G2,
right.
apparently. So
Online.
That's
Not against
kryptonite.
you two online. All right.
we'll see.
They did show a cool chart, and I wish I'd have grabbed the tweet, but I just didn't see it till late this morning. But he was talking about the longest streaks of positive KDs in Counter-Strike history. And his, I think, is like 6th or 7th all time. It's 29 straight. Of the modern era, it's the highest one. I think Zywoo had one that was one higher. Simple had one a few higher. But, dude, Forrest had one that was like double. It's crazy.
It's probably during their streak.
It's probably during their streak, but it was like, I think it was like 58 or 59. And it's like,
That's
dude,
insane.
that's a crazy run. Because, like,
The dog water era.
but it's also like you're playing good teams. Like for Donk to be in one where he's over a 30 streak and he's been playing teams like Mouse and still losing to them playing Vitality and still losing to them, but he is still capable of performing and all that. Like his stats are undeniable. It's crazy.
Agreed.
All hail Donk.
Yeah. It's probably true.
Let's go to our next segment. We're going to do Pickems. And so this Pickems is going to be a snake draft for the Bounty Blast event. And so we've got 8 teams remaining: Vitality, Mouse, Spirit, Mongols, Aurora, VP, Astralis, and Liquid. Don't ask me to repeat them. We had a Pickems last week, and so we ranked our players. So Davis was last, I was second last, Pat, and then Dylan was number 1. We hate Dylan. It's true.
It's crazy to be right.
All the homies hate Dylan. Let's go.
But we're going to do a snake draft. So Davis is going to go first, then I'll go next, then Pat, then Dylan. We're going to pick all these 8 teams.
I just want to note, a couple of you had Mongols run deep in your event. If y'all are not picking Mongols here, you fake fans. You fake fans.
I'm not thinking.
I think I know a couple.
So Davis, you get to go first. Who are you going to pick?
I'm picking Vitality.
Oh my gosh,
Out the
that's
gate.
crazy.
Mainly because I don't pick again till 8, so I got to go ahead and get one giant.
Yeah. It's tough because it's like, even though they lost the last one, it's like, will anybody here, honestly, would you put money against them not being the favorites?
I wouldn't.
Nope.
Yeah. No shot.
Oh,
Not a
man.
smart bet.
I was going to do something, but I think I
Do it.
Oh,
Do
you're
it,
gonna-
man.
you
Believe in
you're
your
gonna
gut.
stay- who'd you have in the finals last time?
Who do I give Pat?
Who did you have in the finals last
I
time?
know I had Mongols in the finals.
And wait, who'd you say was second in the world?
Mongols.
Oh, okay. And who's
It's
still
the second
available?
pick.
Who's still available?
The Mongols.
Oh, that's crazy. It's crazy.
I will pick the Mongols.
Oh!
Good
Mongols
job,
will be my
CJ.
pick.
Good job, CJ. You're
Yeah.
giving it to Dylan. Good
I
job.
know
He
who
get
I'm
two
gi-
back-to-back
I-
picks, and you just gave him a top 3 team.
You get the next pick.
Yeah, but he still gets a top 3 team.
I
We could have
understand.
took the top 3 Giants away from him, and you just gave him a top
No,
3
he
team.
thinks they're a top 3 giant, Pat.
You have solidified his
like, what do you
victory.
mean?
He is now won.
He is now won.
Unless there's some upset.
Okay, either take Spirit or Mouse and call it a day.
All right, I'm taking Mouse because Mouse are more consistent than Spirit. That's just the truth.
And they have their facility online. Or no, it's in Austin now, actually.
Didn't expect me to do that, huh? I thought
You
about.
get your boys. Look at that.
I didn't think this could go this well.
Yeah, he gets to get Spirit. It's crazy.
I just think, yeah, for sure, Spirit is the first pick. It's not close. I actually do think that. I think they'll probably lose, and again, maybe this is my reverse psychology from the last one, but it's mostly because it just feels like after winning the last event, that's the one they really wanted to win. So it's like almost like weight lifted off their shoulders, but in a I'm not trying hard because I just won the thing I wanted to win type of vibe. So I do think they'll probably lose the finals, but it all depends on the draft, right? Like if they get picked Vitality first round, like it's gonna be a bloodbath.
So you get back to back. You're going Spirit, and who's the second?
The second one is tough because, oh man, I don't think any of these teams are really living the dream. Oh my God, it's definitely not TL.
You
I feel bad for
you
them.
have.
Yeah, I'm gonna end up
You can
with-
pick Aurora, VP, Astralis, or Liquid.
Man, I'm probably gonna go Astralis out of that crew.
Wow, that's a little bit of a fun one.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Astralis. I think Aurora's cool. I like the similar to Mongols vibes. I anticipate that's probably who you'll go with. But yeah, I'll probably go with Astralis.
What depends on who Pat's take.
Oh, you already know who I'm taking. If it's my go here, I'm taking VP, baby.
I love it.
EP.
That's it, easy. They're hopefully they are in that upper trend with their changes. Potential to do decent. I'm not saying they're winning. I would never say that on record. Okay.
Pretty much though, if they win their first round, that's a dub.
Yeah, it all depends on the bracket and everything. And we've seen
I mean, the bracket,
if you get
they
the
get to
easy
pick.
bracket, you can get into the finals and be considered a top 2 team by some delusional people. But,
So it's not a bracket. The lower seed would pick who they play.
oh yeah, that's right. This is
So it's just going to be whoever picks the other one.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's the lowest
what's the
low,
lowest
which I'm
seeding?
pretty sure the lowest low is.
Well, I mean, Vitality's number.
no, it's either-
Miles might be number 1.
No.
Or Vitality.
Well, no, it's either. Well, I'm saying the lowest low gets the pick, so it's either TL or.
Yeah. Liquid's gonna pick who they're gonna pick. It's gonna be Liquid. Liquid's 8.
Yeah.
So Liquid's gonna pick who they play, and they're probably gonna play the Mongols.
That's winnable.
It's not winnable.
I-
Don't
look,
say
I'm-
that.
Who are you gonna pick?
Why
dog?
do you think I picked the Mongols? I'm gonna take Aurora off the list
Yeah,
here. So you get.
I got Liquid.
Yeah, you get Liquid.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, I think.
With what you just
I
said.
agree.
With
I
what you
agree.
just said.
Dude, Davis is sitting in money.
You were gonna end up with Liquid either way.
But I'm saying I like that they're probably going to pick Mongols.
I think it's
Yeah.
interesting though because I do want to shout out Aurora because we didn't get to talk about them too much, but they're basically that old EF squad straight turkey team, which is cool. I believe that. Well, I guess Astralis is also a full national team, so it's basically Astralis, Aurora, and Mongols are national teams, which is cool. VP is pretty close to being all Russian, but
Okay, so I'm gonna go through the picks again just real quick so we all remember, so that when ultimately I'm right about the Mongols and they win the overall event, I can be praised by this. And when Spirit gets first
dude,
round,
TL first rounds them. Oh my god!
So Davis went with Vitality. I picked the Mongols. Pat went with Mouse. Dylan went with Spirit. Dylan went with Astralis. Pat went VP. I went Aurora, and Davis went Liquid by no choice.
I'm not 100% on this, but I don't know if they repick after the round.
Yeah.
Because if they repick after the round, that means Spirit's going to get effectively a choice.
If they win,
Right.
it'll be who wins from the bottom. One of those teams. If all of them
then-
lose, then they could have a choice if the top 4 take everybody down. Yes. Because they'll be the next highest seed.
This format.
But you need Mouse and Vitality to win for that to happen, and for Mongols to not lose to Liquid, so they'd get a.
could be exciting.
The first 2 seem plausible.
Yeah, I don't know.
The third one, I
yeah.
I'm gonna be rooting for the Mongols pretty heavy.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Well, Navi's not here, so they're probably okay.
that's right. We'll see. Well, that's been an episode of Queued Up. Thanks for joining us. We are excited to watch some of the stuff going on, and then the Esports World Cup is coming up next, so that'll be exciting next week. We'll talk about those things, but make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.
Peace out.
Girl Scout.